it is very uncool to be a boyfriend girl. It is very uncool to be a my man person.
Look at that. Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So guys, you have to be an idiot, a moron, adult, beta male to date in 2025, especially in the West. Why? Why? Guys, monk mode passports. That should be your only two options, man. You know? And guys, things are so bad. These chicks just disrespect men left and right. They talk about how they're strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
We all know it's cap, right? Because they hit 35, 36, those baby rabies kick in, they pass the wall, and then it's where are all the good men gone? Now, how many videos have I done? How many videos have I done where it's 30-year-old, 40-year-old, and 50-year-old chicks whining about being single and where are all the good men, right? You know? But then when they're younger, they cap and say things like, it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. Look at that, guys. This dunderhead right here wrote an article called, Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? Absolutely insane. Guys, this is what it's come to. Absolutely insane. These chicks are so dumb, it makes me sick. So guys, let's get into this. So, it says, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now, right? And this is from British Vogue. So guys, leave it to this dunderhead 304 to ruin an English accent. Here we go.
For British Vogue, I wrote, this piece is having a boyfriend embarrassing now. I know people have reading the headline, they're like, nah, nah, nah. But listen, for this piece, I interviewed a bunch of women. I spoke to them about why they hide their partners on social media or they like post very inconspicuously about them. You know, some people said it was about privacy and this sort of unique, special privacy that you only afford your romantic partner. A lot of people spoke about the evil eye and this idea that, oh, if I post my partner, then people who are jealous of me will somehow, through their terrible vibes, ruin my relationship. Some people said that they felt as if they were scared to post because what happens when someone comes to them as a woman, or what happens when they break up and they have to, you know, delete all the posts. And there's this whole feeling of like shame of having tried and failed to find love. And then there was a really interesting point that came across both people in relationships and single people. And this idea that like being in a relationship with a man and showcasing it to the world in and of itself was an embarrassing thing to do. And that's what I really wanted to get into. There was this idea of there not being a solidarity with other women. There was this idea of like a relationship just by default being something that rendered you quite uncool. That's what this podcast I came across where they were talking about, is it lame to have a boyfriend? And they say, when I meet a girl and she has a boyfriend, I automatically just kind of put her in a box or in a category and I just don't feel as inspired or engaged by her. And then when someone doesn't, I feel like they have so much life and prospect and they are just entertaining and fun, and I kind of...
There you go, guys. Let's pump the brakes right here. If this isn't proof that single women keep women single, I don't know what is, right? Guys, a woman's worst enemy is another woman. And misery loves company.
Feel empowered by their individualism. But interestingly, the girls talking about this on the podcast, agreeing with this idea that like girls without boyfriends are cool, are also in relationships themselves. And so that. I was thinking so much about how it is very uncool to be a boyfriend girl. It is very uncool to be a my man person. And I spoke to both just people who are on social, but also content creators and influencers about what happens when they post their partners, right? A lot of them lose a lot of followers, especially if they were already single. And this idea that now you are someone's girlfriend and you're posting about this, it's something that people automatically disengage from. I do it too. If I follow someone because they, I don't know, post their outfits and all of a sudden it's their boyfriend every day, I'm just like mute. I came here for a reason. But this is happening like across the board. And like just culturally, I think a lot of like the days of a man being a prize has really changed. It's really changed. And obviously this has come from like just the empowerment of single women in general, but also just how the trajectory of men and women are going in completely opposite directions. And now we're having to look at heterosexuality with the political lens that we've looked at other sexualities. And we really have to evaluate, if we are a part of this thing, what does it mean? And so it's a really interesting piece. I think people should go and read it and should go and check it out. And I've also found the backlash to it. You know, I think a lot of women in relationships will say, well, you know, I hate all men apart from my man. He is a feminist and he is a this and he is a that, and I shouldn't feel embarrassed and blah blah blah. But the thing is, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. if people want to scream like men are trash, I hate all men, men are trash, I hate all men, and then you shack up with a man and you're like, but not my man though, and someone says that's embarrassing, this is the culture that we've created and we fostered, right? And so I think a lot of people want to have their pie and eat it too. But there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think as we become a lot more critical of heterosexuality, I just think you can't sit comfortably in that anymore, which I personally think is a good thing, because it means that we are like deepening heterosexuality. We're thinking so much more critically about what it is we're engaging in, and we're being conscious about our choices, which I think is important. But yeah, go and read the piece. Sorry to drone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Shout out to everyone that made it to the end of this video.
She said we're being critical of heterosexuality.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Is that not the dumbest thing you guys have ever heard in your entire life? Only in the West, guys. You don't hear women doing this anywhere else. Absolutely insane. And guys, you notice how these chicks, yeah, she is right. They'll say all men are trash, but not my boyfriend, right? You know? And guys, she has got a backlash. You know? There's people trashing her. Because this is ridiculous. And it's funny. She said that influencers, once they show their boyfriends, lose followers. Yeah, all the other miserable single chicks and the simps, right? So she's basing this on how influencers and all these other knuckleheads who make money off of manipulating women are. Guys, I'm telling you, monk mode passports. Do not talk to these Western chicks. Do not date these Western chicks, guys. Because, guys, these Western chicks, they are the most influenced by social media. So when she was actually talking about this, there's a large chunk of women who actually feel this way. And what's crazy is they'll be in a relationship, but at the same time, show the whole world that, you know, they're independent, they don't need you, or whatever. You know? It's crazy. Why would any man who's worth a damn put up with this? And look at these comments. Dating is a humiliation ritual for a lot of women. It feels Republican to have a boyfriend. Look at that, guys. You're right. It's embarrassing. I had to cut my boyfriend loose. I think that just having a boyfriend automatically makes you less cooler. Having a boyfriend is a PR disaster. Look at this. Having a boyfriend is spiritually Israeli. Look at that, guys.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Maybe I'm too woke, but wifey material sounds like an insult. Has to be a B-dub. Being able to live alone unpartnered is unquestionably a flex today. And guys, these chicks who are single, they don't have a choice. No woman is single by choice. Because if Chad Wonderbang and Tyrone Thunderstroke came up to them, if that dude talked to them, they would be all over him. Look at that. It just doesn't fit my brand. Look at that. All these chicks talk all this shit, and then pretty soon they'll be like, oh, I'm so alone. Nobody loves me, right? Look at that. This guy says, so someone has some goddamn sense. So the amount of misandry, jealousy, and negativity online is intense. So women in good relationships don't want to bring it anywhere near here, and I don't blame them. Social media may not be a net social benefit outside of good jokes and dance trends. It's okay to have a life outside of it. Facts. Look at that. Look at that, guys. What a joke. Guys, these chicks are cooked. Absolutely cooked, guys. Do not deal with this, guys. Guys. 2025, gentlemen. This is the year where we will not deal with this foolishness. We will not deal with misandry or gynocratic thinking, guys. We will let them be by themselves. So say we all. So say we all. But guys, thanks for making it at the end of the video. You guys, you're still here, please like, subscribe, drop a comment. Guys, I second channel called 51304s. Please go and check that out. Join my Discord. I check out the playlist at the end. I'm offering memberships now, so guys, hit that join button because memberships really help the channel out. Thanks to all you guys that are already members. And guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one.